Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Poke Beast video. I hope everyone had an amazing community day, and as you can see here, I hit the jackpot. I actually got my very first Shundo yesterday in the community day, and as you can see here, I managed to get I believe it was 27 shinies in total for Ghastly. So I evolved 9 Gengars, and then I got 9 Haunters, and I finished it up with 9 Ghastlies. So I mean, I feel like it was a pretty decent, it was a good community day for me. I hope everybody else also had an amazing one. Comment down below and let me know how your community day went. Let me know how many shinies you got, and if you got any good PvP Gengars for your teams. Now, as soon as I got the Shundo, I just started grinding even more just to get dust, so I could max it out immediately and use it as fast as possible in the Master League. And that is what I did. And in this first battle, as you can see here, I decided to bring in Gengar alongside Garchomp and Metagross. In case you saw my last video, this team I basically just swapped out the Snorlax for Gengar. It's not gonna be like an ideal one because Gengar isn't very tanky. It's not bulky compared to a Snorlax, but the attack stat is very high and it deals loads of damage if you play it right. And from what I've learned is it's very tricky. Gengar is a very tricky Pokemon to run because it's not like your ordinary like it could take hits. Gengar really can't take much hit, so you really gotta save your shields for Gengar. As you can see here, I finally bring in the Gengar. Now if I wouldn't have shielded his Wild Charge, it would have knocked out. So this is why in this whole match you saw I didn't shield a single thing, because I was saving all the shields for Gengar and I managed to pick up the win. So hey, it was a 300,000 dust investment and I picked up the first win. So let's go. Now let's go on to the second battle. Garchomp versus a Conkeldurr. And against this kind of matchup, I usually go Sand Tomb first. I'm gonna let this Dynamic Punch hit me. I know it does a lot, but if I could get to an Outrage, which I do, which is amazing. If they don't, this will put a lot of shield pressure, and they don't shield, which results in me taking the lead, which is great. Now they bring in Snorlax, and ladies and gentlemen, Gengar gets walled hard by Snorlax. Snorlax will eat it alive, and you basically can't even touch a Snorlax. I believe you're gonna see here. Usually, what I recommend is if you're ever in the Gengar Snorlax fight, just throw Shadow Balls. There's no point in throwing Shadow Punch. They're never gonna shield, and it's not gonna do as much damage. So as you can see here, I'm just gonna go for the Meteor Mash. Gonna hit the Snorlax. I'm gonna let this go because, like I said, you always need to save your shields for the Gengar. And right here, since Snorlax got very low, I decided to just start throwing out the Shadow Punch. And I got the shield, which is great. Body Slam won't do a lot, but the problem is if I let it go through, it's not going to, it's gonna just chip away even more. They bring in a Metagross, and Gengar is an amazing counter now to Metagross as well. One shots the Metagross, but I still end up losing because, like I said, Snorlax is a tank and it walls Gengar hard. Now let's go on to the next battle. Now that the Premier Cup is kind of over, because now all 3 leagues are back. But if you're still playing Premier Cup, hey, that's great. It's a really fun league in my opinion. If you ever come across a Garchomp versus Magnezone matchup, just know you don't have to shield at all. Mirror Shot will not do a lot of damage, and the Wild Charge will be resisted and it'll barely tickle Garchomp. So as you can see here, I can't see who they brought in. I believe it's a Metagross. No, it's a Machamp. So this is perfect. I'm going to go for a Sand Tomb and go for an Outrage. This is just how I battle my fighters. I got both shields, which is great. And now I'm just going to let this go down. I believe Cross Trap won't do enough to knock it out. And of course, some lag. I'm going to bring in Gengar. And this is where Gengar shines. It's going to be resisting those counters. I'm going to be able to get to a Shadow Punch and just farm this Machamp down. It's just going to get farmed. Of course, I'm going to use my shields because I have to watch out for the Rock Slide. Remember what I said, Gengar cannot take hits. Here comes another Metagross. It's going to get hit by this Shadow Ball. One-shots it completely. And they're just going to forfeit. The Machamp can't really do much. So that was a GG's. Now let's go on to the next battle. Garchomp Snorlax. This is perfect. As long as Snorlax does not meet Gengar, it's a very positive matchup. Sandtomb's gonna come in. Right here, the tricky thing about Snorlax is it knows Outrage. It does, and I didn't shield that, and it almost ate my Garchomp completely, which is great. I'm gonna go with my own Outrage. I get the damage in back, and right here I'm gonna be able to get to a Sandtomb and win the lead. It's always important to try to win the lead, because that way you're able to line up your Pokemon correctly. So in this case, they knocked me out, which is fine. I'm gonna come in with Gengar, just eating this eating this Metagross. Shadow Punch is gonna get the last shield, or I believe it was the first shield. I'm gonna shield as well. Gengar cannot take a Meteor Mash. And as you can see here, I'm gonna be coming in. As soon as they swapped out to Dragonite, I swap into my Metagross. And right here, just gonna try and I was just trying, in case they weren't gonna shield, I was gonna let undercharge, so that way I could do a couple of more. I could farm up a little bit more. Gonna get this Meteor Mash in, and this should knock it out, which does. And I believe they're gonna farm me down, but I still have that last shield. And here's another big thing: if you guys are ever in the Gengar versus Metagross no shield, do not go for Shadow Punch. I know it's the Community Day move. I know you get to it really quick, but it won't do as much. I would only recommend Shadow Punch when Metagross is in like the 25%. If it's not in the 25%, don't use Shadow Punch. As you can see here, I also love this matchup, but they bring in Snorlax, which is great. Gonna try and bait them with Sandtomb, but from what I've noticed is they usually don't shield it, which is also fine, because I charged up so much energy, I'm able to get an Outrage as well. This will get the shield, which is great. I'm gonna bring in Metagross immediately. Now right here, you gotta be careful with Earthquake. It's a Skull Bash, which would have done a decent amount, but it's even better for me because I'm able to save the energy. Right here, I believe they don't shield, so right there you can see I got them down to red. Because I know they had Skull Bash, they're not gonna have Earthquake Skull Bash. That won't make sense, so I didn't shield at that point. I'm gonna let this Metagross go down and bring in the Gengar. No, bring in Garchomp again. Like I said, always try to line it up. And then here comes Togekiss. Gengar is another great counter to Togekiss. It will do neutral damage, and it just chips it away. It's able to resist Charm, which is always good. Gonna be able to get another Shadow Punch, and this should, I'm gonna shield this up, and I should be able, looks like I'm in a comfortable position. Thankfully they didn't get the boost there, and Gengar is gonna be able to land one more Shadow Punch, farm it down. They're gonna bring in their Swampert. Almost got to the Shadow Punch, but I couldn't. And here comes Garchomp to finish it off with an Outrage. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let me know in the comments below if you got your Gengars. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.